we go. This is it. This is episode 406 of No Laugh Track Podcast here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. I am Justin Severson, the lucky guy who gets to host this thing each week, and I love every week, but I get very excited when I get to meet someone for the first time, someone who, as I'm doing my research of Josh Johnson. How you doing, Josh? I have never seen. I don't know if I've seen so much. How do I say it? Excitement about people being fans of yours. When
really?
Your videos, like on YouTube, you read the comments and it's like every time I see Josh's name, I hit play.
Oh, that's kind.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's nice of them.
Yeah, we're gonna get to it, but I think you're one of the first persons on this show in 8 years, 406 episodes, that has had a video that has 10 million views.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's pretty unique to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I try to stay off of YouTube of any of my videos and the comments and stuff because I have heard that people are very nice, but I'm also too brittle of a person to take the negativity. You know
Physically and mentally.
Yeah. So basically, there was one time years ago where I looked at the comments under one of my videos, and it was like I had started growing out my hair and stuff. Like it's all under the beanie now, but like it really been picked out. And someone said that I looked like a single mom, and it had 1,000 likes, and I was like, maybe I will kill myself. You know what I mean? Like it was honestly from the thumbnail, they didn't look wrong. Like I was clean shaven.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was devastating. It's like, what an accurate roast.
What if they would have said, he looks like a strong single mom?
That may have even been worse. Because now I'm missing out on castings, you know?
Yeah, right.
You know,
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, I'm glad you're here today. It's great to meet you. And I want to know about your history here in Minnesota. Have you performed in Minnesota before? I don't think you've been to Acme. Is that correct?
I definitely haven't been to Acme.
Okay.
And I think that if I've been to Minneapolis at all, it was a one-night quick drop by when I was opening for Trevor.
Yeah.
But I don't remember if I think it would have been at the Target Center because he sells ridiculous amount of tickets. But yeah, I have not been here like of my own accord to do a show that I was headlining ever before. And if I remember correctly, I didn't like get to spend time. It's like we just came and did the show and had to leave right away.
Sure. So. I bet that's got to be, yeah. I mean, what would even stand out when you're doing an arena? So those shows were normally in arenas, right?
Yeah.
And they kind of like put a drape, maybe like cut them off in half. So there's 25,000, 20,000, 10,000. How many people are they getting in for those shows?
I mean, yeah, anywhere from the smaller ones, like the really small ones, are I guess like 5.
Yeah, 5.
And then all the way up to like, I guess 17.
Damn.
Yeah, but like it's one of those things where it's performing in an arena is like the nightmare of what stand-up is. Because the people are so far away and it's so dark that you're just doing your jokes into the abyss and hoping you get laughs back. So then it's like, if anything ever bombs, you're just like, oh, this is the only difference is that I'm not naked. But like, but even that was is like symbolism for what this would be, you know? So that tour is absolutely amazing. And, the chance to perform in front of that many people at a time and see that my jokes worked in front of that many people is something that no matter what happens from here on out, I'll have that in my head to know that when I write a joke that works, it works everywhere. Because, like, you know, during the week, I'm doing that joke at the Cellar, and then on the weekend was doing it opening for Trevor. So it's like, oh, okay, now at this point, it's about access. It's not necessarily about just building up the skill set. Like, of course, I'm still trying to get better, and I'm trying to, like, bring more skills in to make the overall experience better for people when they come to see me. But that flipped a switch for me that I am very grateful for, because now I know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the thing, Did you ever, before you ever did something like that, did it cross your mind where, I've gone to a big, like not necessarily arena, but big like theater shows for comedy or big arena shows for music, and then there's the like whatever the opening act is. Like people didn't go to see that act.
Yeah,
right?
No, they don't know I'm coming.
so you're battling that too.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing though, is that when you have great fans, the way that he does, they're comedy fans. So it's not. I didn't have to like fight my way for them to like me. Yeah. They came for a show. And then they happen to like what I was doing afterwards. And then even now, some of the people that come up to me in other respects are like, I first saw you opening for Trevor. And so it's like they not only accepted, but then became like, a fan of me in that small amount of time.
Nice.
Which is, I'm so grateful for, because that's a lot to ask of a person.
Hell yeah.
They did know. No one knows I'm showing up. You know what I mean?
Right.
But still, just the way that he has been able to cultivate a fan base that just enjoys comedy is incredible.
Now, since we're talking about working with Trevor Noah, he just hosted the Grammys.
Mm-hmm.
Did you help with that at all?
No, not the Grammys.
No.
That was all him.
All him.
I did not. Yeah, I was not doing Grammy stuff. I'm also still trying to like figure out certain projects for myself and stuff. I'm like all over the place right now. I'm like trying to write a bunch of different things at once and stuff.
Things that are pitched to you, or things you're just coming up with?
No, things that I'm just coming up with.
Okay.
Yeah. I not quite at the level yet that people are like, well, we need you to finish our screenplay.
Okay, but I wouldn't be surprised if you said that was happening.
I mean, that's very kind. I hope it will be happening soon.
Yeah.
But yeah, just trying to stay busy in every respect. I mean, especially after the year that we had, it's like,
what do you mean? What year? What?
It's. I don't know if you had the same year I had, but I was in the present at the time, and it was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week would have been the 1 year anniversary of, like, last week was we did a show and then podcast and then didn't do one for 2 months.
Oh wow!
Because of everything shut down.
Oh jeez.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And just thinking back, like, it seems like an eternity ago, and it also seems like a week ago.
Yeah, that tends to happen when you've been in one place the whole time.
Yeah.
Where you're like, all right, I think that it's been a week, but I haven't left in maybe a week, so maybe it's been a month. It could have been a day, but I think I've eaten too many times for it to be a day. Like that's I started losing track horribly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, I thought, obviously, so many people thought the lockdown would be a 2-week thing. And then when it got longer, by it was amazing how by May, people were just like completely off the rails. Like, I know I was. Like, by May, I was lucky if I remembered to like change socks in a few days, And it's like, why do I need to do all these things to keep up appearances if I'm not leaving? It's like, well, they keep you sane. That was everyone that was in lockdown went through like a straight up nursing home experience. Like, I'm surprised that like more people in their 20s didn't come out of it with dementia or something.
Right.
It's like,
well, we don't know yet.
Yeah, I guess we don't know.
That might be happening.
Yeah, but it's like you let yourself, because I started taking up hobbies just to keep my mind sharp and stuff. And
how did those go?
They're terrible. It was like I wasn't good at any of them. So one of them was easy. I started reading comic books again, got really into graphic novels again, and all the stuff that I go through spurts with some of my hobbies. So I'll be really into it, and then like 4 years pass, I don't do anything with it. But then when I revisit it, now there's this wealth of stuff. Yeah. Now I can just pick all the good stuff. But then actual skills, like I bought some nunchucks, and I really hurt myself. And it's one of those things. It's already one of the dumbest weapons ever invented. It's just a broken stick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a broken stick that you're swinging and hoping it goes where you want it to go.
Yeah. It was put together with leftovers.
Yeah. So now, like, in a scenario where I needed to use them, I am beating myself as much as I'm beating the other person. And I bought the foam ones at first.
That's what I was picturing.
Because I was like,
Good.
all right, let me start
Yep.
slow,
Mhm.
right? The foam ones broke immediately. Like, they broke the next day.
Yeah.
Just too cheap. It was
Okay.
terrible. And so now all I have left are the wooden ones. So now it's like I gotta get good quick, or else I'm gonna knock myself out. Like, it was really bad. And now of course we did the pandemic thing and got a puppy. So now I don't practice at all. So now I'm worse than when I started.
You rescued a puppy from somewhere.
You know, every pet is a rescue if you think about it. It's like every pet that was not living in a house has now been rescued to the life of living in a house.
Yeah, right.
You know, like even if you had a dog genetically engineered to be made, like you just wanted a Great Dane Chihuahua that was just huge but skinny. Even if you went through all that trouble, once you bring it through the threshold of the apartment or the house, it's a rescue because it gets to live kind of better than a person.
Yeah.
Like,
Uh-huh.
I wish someone would rescue me the way that any dog from a pet store has been rescued.
Oh,
you know?
tell me. I've been, For
It's-
most of my adult life, I've been searching for that.
Yeah, it's like, because then I've watched people that have just, I don't even know if I believe half the backstories, because it's like, how do you know? Like, so then you'll get a rescue dog from a place that does rescues, right?
Yep.
And they'll tell you the story of this dog, and I'm like, someone wrote this. There's no way that you know that this this dog was a child soldier for 2 months, and it had to shoot its cousin. It's like, but then were you there?
This dog had to make some tough decisions.
Yeah, it's like, were you there? Did you watch all this happen and you just let it happen until you could bring him back to America? Like, how are you? Because there would be some stories that were taking place, and some of them were kind of just in the first person. I'm like, did the dog tell you? Because otherwise, you're just like, listen, this dog was on the streets of Puerto Rico, which couldn't have been good, so we brought him here.
Yeah.
That's a more believable story than like, you know, and he was on a walk one day with his mom and all of his brothers when a truck drove by and ran over all of them except him, and then backed up on all of them except him, and then drove off again on all of them except him. And it's like, how would you know that?
So we named him Lucky.
Yeah, so we named him Lucky, and we don't take him outside because that's where the cars are. Like, it's also the level of like I don't think people respect the impact they have on animals, even when they're trying to be sensitive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like it's like when you see a fat dog. A fat dog is a human's fault.
Yeah.
They love to run. They literally love to burn calories.
Uh-huh.
So if your dog like has the problems of someone that lives in a basement and only eats Cheetos, that was you.
Mm-hmm.
Like they need to be rescued from you now.
Both have a spot worn out on the couch, probably.
Yeah. Or like, I don't know. I think that some people I understand that dogs feel anxiety and all the other stuff, but I think some people are so sensitive to those things, they're doing more harm than good, you know?
But will you be celebrating your dog's birthday?
Yeah, but you know what we'll do? It'll just be some extra treats and like a stick, because he doesn't care about things. I went to a dog's birthday party one time.
No, you didn't.
It was just an excuse for this person to drink. It was
I know those people.
Yeah, it was like the dog doesn't. No one's even paying attention to the dog. The dog just got one of those. You know, like I don't know.
The dog's been sober for 2 years.
Yeah, it's like they do these like doggy cakes or whatever, like these doggy.
Oh, and it's made out of their treats and stuff.
Yeah, it's like
right?
made out of doggy treats, and
Yep.
so yeah, she got him one of those, and then he was
And
tearing
then you can't
away
even
at
have
it.
any.
I can't. Not only can I not have any of the cake, I don't drink. So now I'm just standing there while a dog is getting fat and other people are getting drunk. And it was one of the worst birthday parties I've ever been to. And how does she even know? She got the dog when it was 3, so I guess she just made a date.
Yeah.
That's the other reason dog birthdays don't make a ton of sense, because it's like you're just picking. You're
Yeah.
either
Oh, yeah.
picking when you brought them home or when you think maybe, but nobody knows.
Well, they think she's probably 3 years.
Yeah,
That's what you usually hear.
Yeah.
They say she's probably.
yeah.
I'm sure.
And it's like, who is they? A vet? Because if it's not a vet, I don't care. It's like that's just a person making up
Yeah,
stuff.
no, it's the person that found her wandering the streets of Florida.
Yeah,
and brought her up
it's
here.
like, hey, we had to bring her here. She's 3. It's very sad. Also, there's a bunch of rules that come with this dog. By the way,
Right.
That was the other thing. It's like I'm not gonna
like gremlins.
Yeah, it's like I'm not gonna go the trouble of getting a dog and then have extra rules on top of the rules I'm already gonna try to set of like don't rip my fingers off,
Right.
like all the other stuff.
Don't chew my shoes.
And then to still pass that, not be sure if it loves me.
Right.
Because that's the other thing. Is like sometimes when a dog's been through a lot of trauma, to expect it to act like just another regular dog is unreasonable.
Right.
So it's like you got to do all this training, then you got to do the training for polite society so it doesn't like bite other dogs, and then you have to hope that it loves you.
Yeah.
It's like that's a lot. I'm in a pandemic. I'm not like in it indefinitely.
So a kid is next. No, I'm kidding. How was last night? We should talk about that. Your first night at Acme. How was last night?
Last night was amazing.
Yeah?
It was so much fun.
I know that last night and tonight have been full.
Yeah.
Last night was full. Tonight going to be full. No more seats available.
Yeah. So I'm super excited about tonight. Last night was it was also one of those things where the audience was so good that I feel like it made me extra attentive at being present, because sometimes, like, I don't know, sometimes you go to a show and it's like a fight, so it's like you feel like you have to battle to then get their attention, keep their attention, make them laugh, keep them laughing.
Sure.
And none of that was like, the crowd was just like ready, they were amped, and then the host and feature destroyed, like just killed in a way that kind of made me feel uncomfortable. I was a little like, all right, guys, all right, jeez, okay, just give me a second.
My first night, fellas.
It's like, it's my first night. Do you really have to like? I don't. It sounded like standing ovations. I don't know because I was behind the thing, but I was like, oh god, are they standing up? Like it was. They were destroyed.
I didn't get a chance to see. A lot of times I come to the shows or watch on the online or something. It was Robert Burrill was working last night, right?
Yeah.
And James Stanley. Nice.
Yeah. But
very cool.
They were so great. Yeah, they were fun to talk to. They were amazing to listen to. I'm gonna try to sneak around and actually like watch them go, because I was just behind the curtain listening.
Yeah, you got to do that.
But they were so funny, and I just couldn't. It was one of the. I couldn't imagine a better way to like come back on the road than that show.
Yeah,
because not only was it going well, but people were happy to be here. They were like excited, and then like the jokes were like landing in a way that I felt good, even riffing past what I'd written, all that stuff. It was like the energy opened up for more spontaneity from me as well.
Nice.
So that's always great.
So how much have you been working?
I've been working a lot, actually, just not obviously in the full road capacity.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of Zoom shows, lots of outdoor shows in New York, even through some of the cold, which felt like a mistake. Yeah, I mean, like there was some.
What was cold? How cold?
Oh God, like
I've been curious about that.
like
40s, 50s?
26.
Really?
Yeah, like just brutal weather to the point where like I'm on stage, like there's no way we're having fun. Like I'm just like arms crossed, trying to stay warm, just do my bit. Like I got a new computer. Like that was terrible. But I think that what it did was it kept me mentally active to the point where, yes, I'm working on a joke. This joke has to now do well past all the elements. And then hopefully when I go on the road and do it in, prime conditions, it does really well, which is what happened last night. Like last night felt like it felt like vindicating for all of the like terrible circumstances around shows. Because I'll tell you right now, in New York, a lot of the people doing outdoor shows run good shows. Sure. But you can't run a good show past the cold. Yeah, I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like as spring hits and summer hits, those are going to be some of the best shows in New York. But
things are opening up more as well, too, right?
Things are opening up more, but I think that there's I don't know what the scene is like in Minneapolis, but like what opened up in New York was this opportunity of using outdoor shows in a way that just hadn't been before, because you could just go to the Cellar, go to the Stand, go to New York Comedy Club, go to Caroline's, whatever. And so people were so focused on those places at all times that they didn't really try to do any DIY, rooftop, patio, backyard. And when the pandemic made that your main option, now the people who run those shows are going to run those shows coinciding with all the brilliant shows that are going on indoors. So I think there's going to be a real boom when things come back.
Even better chances to perform. I watched a clip of yours. I think it was Comedy Central had their stamp on it. It was outside. You could hear crickets when in the dead parts.
Yeah, that's
like you're revving up another joke.
Yeah, it's
like,
dude,
what the fuck?
It's
this
like
is not ideal.
Yeah, it's like it's so wild because that show was so fun and went so well, but you just can't make up for what being outside is.
Yeah.
You know, like the crowd was great, like the comics on it were really, really funny and getting great reactions, but you can't make up for the ceiling being the clouds.
Right.
Like it's like, you know, that's a thing that I still think people are going to keep doing as far as outdoor tapings as well, because I think that as we learn more, like you have to keep in mind that all of this stuff was the first time anyone was trying to do any of it. Mm-hmm. So we're only going to get better at it. And so the next time you see potentially a taping that's outdoors, so many more things are going to be enhanced in the way that how could you know your first time, you know? It's like even my energy when I was doing that set, I was like, in my head, should I be bigger because I'm outside and I need to like keep their attention from all the distractions? Like if a plane passes over, like I want to keep them focused on me and everything. So there was stuff like that.
If you want to practice, I think Acme could turn the air conditioning on here. We can get a nice cold.
I mean, I feel like I've been through so much this past year that Acme just doing what they do is literally like heaven. Like they don't have to do anything extra. Just keep being you and just let me show up, and it's honestly the best shows I've had in months.
I saw that you did something that Pete Lee recorded here a month or so ago, and then his set was played on The Tonight Show.
Yeah,
and you did something similar, right?
Yeah.
Recorded someplace else, and then they played it on The Tonight Show back in, was it November?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I think it either aired at the end of November or December or something like that.
So where did you record yours?
Draft House.
Okay.
Yeah, and it was, and you know the thing about that, even so, the same thing I was saying about outdoor shows versus indoor established venues and stuff is that I think that even with late night, the pandemic pressured shows to do things in a different way that was just as good, if not better, than the way that they were already doing them.
Yeah.
So now all of those shows that did that have options. They can either have someone fly in, do it for the crowd, whatever, or they could just have someone do a great set, send it in, play it for the live audience, and then air it as part of the show.
There's no reason why I shouldn't keep going.
It was one of those things too that's so funny because it's like you work so hard to get a good tape to submit that it just felt like such a. I mean, that was a brilliant move on Michael Cox's part and everything to be like, these comics already do everything it takes to send in a good tape. Why not just air that good tape?
Yeah,
and it's like, that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah. Was that your first or second Tonight Show?
That was my second Tonight Show. Yeah.
So I saw. Now help me understand something. So there was a meme I saw about. It looks like it's you doing the Tonight Show. Did you bring a teacher back?
Yeah. So when I did I think it was the first time I ever really did it was the first time I ever did stand up. Was my high school talent show. And then my teacher, my history teacher, Mr. Ward, he taught me history, geography, and he was like the teacher in charge of the quiz bowl. So I feel like every year of high school I had an interaction with him, in some capacity. And he was like super gung-ho about my set and was like, I think I'm going to see you on The Tonight Show one day. And he was like, and he even came to one of my shows in Chicago years after I graduate. Like I graduated college, you know? And so he's always just been so supportive, and he would even like if he saw a clip of mine on Facebook or whatever, he'd comment under it like I'll see you on the Tonight Show, all the stuff like that for like, you know, the time that I started actually doing comedy to the time that I got in a position to do the night show. So like in my mind it felt like a no-brainer. Like clearly he has to be here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's like he was saying he would see me on the Tonight Show before my mom was saying it.
Right,
so
right.
like I feel like
you turned your back on her and invited him.
You
I
know,
gotcha.
it felt like the right thing to do. But yeah, no, he's always just been so supportive, and like I wish I saw what he saw that first time that I performed. Because
right?
I thought I was funny, but he was like, "No, you're gonna like do it." And I was like, "Wow, that's incredible."
No,
that, you know,
I'm gonna ask this. No, are we sure he wasn't like the singers? He was like, "You're gonna win a Grammy someday." And the writers, he's like, Pulitzer.
Maybe. I mean, I think he really believed in all of us. So I'm not saying I'm the only one he believed in. He didn't put all of his chips on me. He was very supportive of all of his students. But in this one respect, as far as I know, he and I had that special connection where he's the only person that was telling me I was going to be on the Tonight Show. And I think I was the only person he was telling that they were going to be on the Tonight Show.
I'm sure. No, I'm sure.
It's still like, you know, it's so great to be able to share those moments because so many times
so cool.
people are supportive of you or whatever, and then they don't get to see the thing coming to life or like the dream being realized or something.
You know what it reminds me of is like when they do the home run derby around All-Star break.
Yeah.
And the guys participating will bring like their dad to throw the pitches,
yeah,
or their high school coach, or you know something from
yeah,
their past.
Absolutely,
I love that stuff.
Yeah, because it's important because no one the thing which this may sound less inspiring than it should, but like no one has to be nice to you. So then when people go out of their way to be kind, compassionate, inspiring, all that stuff needs to be return, not because you owe them something, but because it's how you cultivate more of it in the world, you know? Like I think that it choked me up knowing he was choked up on the phone when I called him to tell him like just give me your details and like we'll fly you out and you know I want you to be there, and that was like huge. I mean, if anything, because I even told him I was like, yeah, I was gonna do the Tonight Show again, and I had to film it and then send it in, or else we would have gone again. And he was like, even knowing you wanted to go again was more than enough for me. And I was like, yeah, because that stuff is probably the most important part of comedy. To a certain degree, it's why comedians do it. It's like not just approval or feeling special or whatever, but it's like the idea that you have an impact on another person in a way that is not just like, haha, this person's like interesting, funny, whatever. But someone is like, I'm inspired by the fact that you're doing so much of what you want to do. And yeah, it felt like the least that I could do was have him there with me.
New York is where the Tonight Show's done. Right?
Yeah.
Please tell me it was also like his first time in the big city.
It so what? Funny enough, I think he had been to New York before, but we actually after the Tonight Show we went to the Flatiron Building because he wanted to go, and it tried to go earlier in the day, but like got himself turned around. And I was like, well, then we're gonna go together because if we can't all get there, then I don't know what to say. You know?
Yeah.
But it was nice because I don't think he had been in a very long time to New York, so it was also cool to like we went out to eat afterwards and stuff, and to show him around a little bit on top of doing the show and stuff.
So we don't have a ton of time left because we do try to keep these around a half hour. I have, because I already mentioned it, there is a video that you have catfishing the KKK.
Yeah.
It has over 10 million views on YouTube.
You know what's weird about that is that was just like a show that I was doing and like had fun and everything. I never really thought about it again, and then when they put it on YouTube, it started like really tracking. So it's not something that I was even like, this is my most brilliant set ever.
Yeah.
It was just like, you know, here's this like more detailed story about a thing that happened when I was younger, and I'll just do this. So it's like it definitely gave me a bit more confidence in like my storytelling as opposed to just my stand-up. But that still is very weird to me that it's doing such numbers,
So it not only does that video have, like I said, 10 million, it has reaction videos of people watching it.
Yeah.
I watched one of them, 68,000 views.
Yeah.
The reaction video has.
Yeah, it's
Josh, that's wild, man.
Yeah, it's very like.
There's a reaction video with two like middle-aged white guys. There's the one I watched was two black guys. Like, everything. It's crazy.
It's insane. I mean, it's one of those things too where I try to not even think about it, or else you start chasing it, and then when you start chasing it, you start caring about things outside of like the comedy and the overall experience. But yeah, it's been amazing to watch.
What was the thing that made that pop so much? Just people sharing it?
I think it was just people sharing it, because I definitely didn't even know that it was doing well until it had like 3 million. So like I never really like a while passed and I didn't really think about it again, and I just kept doing my other sets and stuff. But yeah, when it hit like 3 million, someone was like, may even been my aunt. I think it was my aunt was like,
a lot of times it's family.
Your videos got there. And I was like, what video? Because at the time I wasn't posting anything to YouTube myself at all. Like I was just like trying to focus on going up every night and just like writing and everything.
Yeah.
And then I looked and I was like, oh yeah, it does. That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, you have great stuff on YouTube. So whoever's in charge of that now.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're doing a great job.
I appreciate it.
Really good stuff to watch and choose from. And it's
thank you so much.
Some of it's really fresh, and keep that up.
No, I appreciate it.
Not everybody's doing that.
I'm trying that. I feel like that's the move though. Is that if you can just really overwhelm people with a tsunami of you, then eventually you're going to catch on some people who genuinely enjoy you,
Yeah. So another thing that we got to touch on is we did briefly, is writing for the Daily Show.
Yeah.
Correct? How long have you been doing that?
October. I started October of 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm like over 3 years.
So how much of that, like, how often are you working? How often are you busy with that job?
Yeah, I mean, it's every day I'm, like Monday through Friday, writing or thinking about the show or all that stuff. But I think that the main thing, what's actually helped me, what writing jobs do for you that cannot be replaced, is that I have to write and I have to think about things in a way that is funny when I don't feel funny. So much of doing stand-up, so much of doing comedy in general, whether it's improv, sketch, all this stuff, is about feeling it, because it's a feeling you share with people to instill that feeling in them.
Yeah.
But when you have a job and it's your job to show up here and write things that are funny and stay funny and be funny, it becomes a bit more like, okay, I'm learning the cheat codes to like this plus this is funny, this minus this is funny. Yep. All that stuff becomes a tool to use when I'm feeling down or I'm not feeling particularly inspired or I don't find something as funny. And that's been, I can't think of a single thing that has been more important to my overall growth and process of writing stand-up than that. That's been an insane turnaround, because now it especially doesn't feel like work now, because now I'm learning how to do things that aren't fully based off my feelings, and that makes it doesn't take an emotional toll to dole out jokes or anything.
Has that job turned you into any, like, some sort of a news junkie where you're checking things out right away in the morning, at night, getting like what people are talking about?
Not necessarily, and not outside of work. Like if I'm on hiatus, then I don't really even check the news that much.
Well, I don't blame you.
Yeah, and then past that, it's like I don't get super amped for, like, some people that I know just in life are those people who play chess with the politics, and they're like, oh, this happened, so like from 6 months from now that means this is probably going to happen, and they enjoy that and they have fun with like the postulating everything, and that's not really my thing.
Yeah.
I like doing that for jokes, but not for like world events or like overseas government. To me, it's just not the same.
And then you got nominated for an Emmy. All the writers got nominated for an Emmy. Last year?
Yeah. So that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a show that you didn't get to attend.
Yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, even if we had been there, would it have been the same? Like, I feel like it's one of those things where it meant so much to be nominated that I forgot that I wasn't gonna get to like go to the Emmys and do the whole party and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it was just like, wow, this is really cool because it means that people saw what we were doing and they really noticed it. You know?
The Daily Show's writing staff has won in the past, right?
Yeah.
I thought so. You guys did not win last year, or did you?
No.
Do we want to give credit to who won or shit on them?
I mean,
I'm kidding.
John Oliver won, and I can see it. It's like they consistently put out amazing work, so it wasn't a surprise when it was like John Oliver. I think that they do incredible stuff and they do numbers.
Let's face it, John Oliver's sort of Daily Show adjacent, really.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a connection there.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
I won through him,
There you go.
Yeah, that's how I choose to look at it.
There you go. Acting, is that a thing that you were interested in and doing?
Yeah. So I've done a little bit of acting, but not in a capacity that would take me away from the show right now and take me off the road and stuff. So it's like I'm more than willing to branch out into acting, doing features or doing TV, but the timing has to be right, and it has to be something that I'm so passionate about that I'm willing to give up other things.
Sure. Is there anything right now?
That'd be hard to say. I don't know of not necessarily. I feel good. This is the other thing too, is that anytime you get an offer to be in something or to do something, it's like, that's, like I said before, no one has to be nice to you. So that's amazing. You're like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. But like, I'm so happy with where I am right now that it's hard to even imagine for a little while longer, even imagine shifting from that.
Sure.
So it would have to be insanely dope. And there are things out there, but I'm biding my time. You know what I mean? Like I'm waiting until I've built up a bit more.
Fair enough. The final thing I have to mention, because I listened to like 4 episodes, the Josh Johnson Show, podcast.
Yeah.
You do a podcast.
I do a podcast called The Josh Johnson Show, which you just said, which is very kind of you to mention on your show. And we do it every week. It's my buddy Logan Nielsen and I, and we tell each other stories, and we talk about times that we have been on the road, because we go on the road together in the best of times and everything. And so we both get a lot of stories that way, and we've both just had, I think that my life, at least from his perspective, he says, is a cartoon, and that is not wrong. Like, I definitely strike up a lot of odd conversations, and I'm just like, I'm like an odd person, because I was alone so much as a kid that now nothing is too much, if that makes sense. So it's like we could meet for the first time, and I'd probably ask you something that is like not that's like 4th time you hang out ask, So that yields a lot of things happening. Plus, I think that I've been fortunate enough to make a lot of friends, either acquaintances or really good friends, that tell me a lot of stories. Yeah. So, I've shared some of those on the podcast and stuff.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
I listened to the 4 most recent.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them, it took me, I was like, because I don't know anything about your co-host, and I'm listening to you guys tell stories, and one of them, you guys were talking about amusement parks.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes, oh yeah, well we went to Valley Fair. I'm like, Valley Fair?
Yeah.
I just drove past Valley Fair. That's here.
Yeah.
But he's not from here.
No, he's not. He's not from here. He's from Iowa.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely done lots of work in the Midwest and stuff, and tours in the Midwest and everything. But yeah, a lot of his stories will come more from the Midwest, and my stories will come more from the South and New York, and then the stories that we had happen together will all be sort of Chicago.
Yeah. Yep, I picked up on that.
Yeah,
it's good.
that's where we met. But
right on.
yeah, the only thing we don't have are enough West Coast stories yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
This has been fun.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's
Continued success, sir. So
you.
I did when we were talking earlier. We were saying yesterday, today. So if people don't know, who knows when they're going to listen to this? The fact is their show is Friday and Saturday night. There are tickets available. Correct, Brandon? Just a few left for Friday and Saturday. You know, we're still doing the social distancing in the seats here at Acme because of COVID. So it's not the normal amount of seats that there would be, 13 months ago.
Yeah.
So get them while there's still some available.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, this has been an incredible week going into an amazing weekend. So I'm so happy to be here. I'm so thankful that they're having me. It's a great time.
Right on. Thanks, man.
Thank you.